eyes I always remember. I wrote you on and on. You never gave me an answer. Am I the only one? I didn't know it was over. Take care of you. Take care of you. Take care of you. You on and on. You never gave me an answer. Am I the only one? I didn't know it was over. Take care of you.
Hello everybody! Welcome to our live stream today, and today we'll be sharing about a really cool topic, which is about how do you do migrations properly. And for today's topic, we're going to be specifically talking about one very cool piece of software that I really like called N8N. If you're not familiar with that yet, don't worry, you will be, because I have some videos coming out to show you exactly how to build your own automation server to interact with all your different tools like Notion and whatever else you might be using, because it's a very good thing to be able to connect and automate your workflows in the way that you want to. So today, what we're going to be sharing about though is that we recently built a new server. We recently updated our N8N instance, meaning that we have access to brand new features, and we want to make sure that all the old workflows that we had on the old server are migrated properly over to the new one. So the purpose of this stream really is to educate anybody who may be wanting to go through this process of migrating different things, whether it be on N8N or any other software. And I want to show you the step-by-step process in which I do migration so that you can learn the best practices for yourself and ensure that whenever you have to do something such as this, where it's important to have both sides of the data very clear and make sure that there's no loose ends, this is a very good step to process and practice. So enough from me, let's get straight into it. So first of all, let me make sure I go ahead and capture my main window so you can see everything I'm seeing. Perfect. So as always, I actually like to go with, starting with what we really want to do, why we want to do it, and how we're going to get there. So the first thing I'd like to go on is, the why, right? And again, we recently installed the latest version of N8N into a new server. By the way, the process is super easy, and I'll have a guide going up really soon on that. But when we did that, we implemented HTTPS protocol, right? The SSL protocol, the security protocol for security and privacy, meaning that anything that gets sent to here can't be read in between. Again, we don't think we had any data breaches or any hacks or anything, but just to be sure, we want to make sure we have implemented HTTPS. And time management is handled better in this new version, meaning that anything that's time-based is handled a bit better. So we're like, yes, we want this new version. But we couldn't do a direct installation because there were breaking changes from the two versions. It was installed with a legacy method previously, and now we installed it with a very, very simple method, and we like it a lot. So basically, what we have to do is migrate 3 workflows over to a new server, Notion Win to Supabase, which is our data layer for our Make Work Fun app. Any API wins to Supabase, which again is a new feature I'm planning to release really soon for the Make Work Fun app, and then also some other thing, which is weekly updates, our Webflow event states. I'm going to go through quickly and just show you what are some of the workflows that we currently take advantage of on N8N. So in case that you want to know what N8N is, or you want some, you're just curious how we use it, I'll spend just a minute showing you exactly how we use it, because I think it's quite cool. So first of all, just an introduction to our app. We have a Make Work Fun app, which is a Next.js application. It is built on React, and it is a application that allows you to connect your Notion account to this application, and instantly all the wins that you hand in inside the app will get translated to EXP and gold and your own personal little avatar, just like so. And whenever you hand in a new win, you have something like this that pops up. You can open it up, and then it has a little sound, and then you get to celebrate your win. And enough wins come by, you level up, and then you end up getting a nice celebration with that. And of course, you can also join parties. You can do dailies as well with by yourself. You do your daily quests, and just all around have a lot of fun. So this process is empowered by our server, which is on N8N. And right now it has this very complicated workflow that allows me to every single minute get Notion credentials from our server layer, right from our database. Then if there are valid credentials, pass them over to a pull request from our GET request actually from Notion. We get any new wins that may have appeared. We add in different information. We do some complicated checks. Then if it's if it is a valid win, then we send it back into our database, and then we report to Notion, letting Notion know that, hey, we got it, let's move forward. So all of this process, I think, is super important because it allows us the opportunity to integrate these two apps in a whole new way, and really with really low code. And obviously figuring this out was a pain, but after that, it all runs pretty automatically. So today we're going to be showing exactly how we pull this over, and the steps that we go through to really do a proper migration. So the first thing in a migration is we want to stop everything that's happening on the old server. So right now, for the next, probably next 20 minutes, we're not going to have anything be running through the workflow, because we don't want anything to, be. We want there to first also be a lot of data when we finally run it again, because we want to make sure that we're testing the new process, but we also don't want any complications. So let's pause the workflow first on the old server. So we're going to pause this right now. And then what we're going to be doing is we're going to copying it over. Now, again, the way you migrate something may differ between the different tools that you use, but for this one specifically, migrating is almost as simple as just copying this, so Control C, right? And then pasting it into the other workflow, which is just right here. And let's just make a new workflow, right? I want to paste it in here. And now everything kind of works. So it doesn't, right? Because it has all these little marks where it's like, hey, I don't have any information. What's going on? Well, right now it needs some credentials. So it needs credentials from me, and I need to create a new credentials here. This is where I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a second, because I need to go ahead and grab in the credentials that we need. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys to my face. And then I'm just going to pass over the credentials really quickly. I just copy it over. And again, this process is relatively easy. You just need to figure out exactly what information you're passing over, and then how you are planning to go ahead and move things. So the host is going to be this URL, and then the database is that, user is that, and then password. I wonder if I can paste this in. Nope, password, I need to go ahead and grab it myself. So give me a quick second and I'm going to go grab that password. Disable, the same port is ready. Okay, I just need a password. Okay, give me a quick second. I'm going to go grab the password from my login. So I need to go to Supabase. Okay, and then I'm going to sign in. Give me a quick second. Sign in with GitHub. And then we're going to go into here. Okay, so it's sent to my email. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay, cool. So I'm in now, and then I just need to grab the API details. Okay, so I believe the password is this one. Okay, perfect. So now it's done. So switching back to my presentation here. So yeah, so you can see that now doesn't have a little exclamation mark, but basically I updated the credentials, so everything's working now, ideally. But there's still two things here, right? So what's going on here? What's the issue here? So if I want to compare, right, as an example, I'm going to go into here and I'm going to compare this and see why exactly I am currently running into an error, because here doesn't have any error, right? So I'm going to check this. There's a programmatic created API key, right, which currently uses this JSON key. So let's go ahead and do that as well. So I am going to go ahead and create new. We're going to say, we're going to call this one the programmatic. So let's go ahead and call this the same thing, programmatic API key. We're going to put an expression here as well. So we're going to add an expression just like that. And then we have here a program created API key. Let's change it up here now. And then we save. Okay, perfect. I'm going to X this, X that. And then this one should also be able to pick that up. Perfect. And then now, what's this last thing? So this last thing is also having a weird error. So let's just compare and contrast what that last thing was. And we go ahead and see it's still using the programmatic one. So if I could just go ahead and do program created key, done, and then save. So let's see if that instantly already helps me set everything. I'm very curious because that might actually be all that's needed, right? So let's turn it active. Got it. And let's hope that nothing really breaks because of this change. And I'm going to observe it by opening up this executions as well. And so we're going to see it when it runs and see if it runs anything. And at the same time, I'm actually going to open up my console here. And of course, you see a bunch of errors here is fine. I'm going to put a console here so I can see if anything comes in when it does. So let's see how it loads. We're going to give it a quick second. It shouldn't be too far off because it runs every minute. So let's say my workflow. I need to also rename this actually. But for now, let's make sure it runs well. And then when it finishes, I can actually go and observe and see what it actually does. So that's important. So it's going to run now. I'm going to say, so we pause workflows. We make sure dependencies are handled. We put in the credential keys. Any code changes, I haven't observed in this one that we have to make any code changes, so that's fine. And then we have to run the workflow and test on the new server. That's what we're currently doing. So let's go ahead and run it. It's still 33 seconds. Usually this one takes a bit long to run because it has a lot of stuff. You can see normally the executions take like a minute here, right? So let's just see what's going on, and then we'll wait for the 20 seconds to go. In the meantime, we can see if there's anything that comes in here already, because whenever there's something that comes in, this will actually pop up and say, hey, we have a new win. So let's go ahead and see if there is anything. Okay, so while that's running, actually, I'm going to make sure I rename this, by the way. So it's going to call it Notion Win Supabase. And we're going to go ahead and make sure that's... So this my workflow ran already. So let's see. So we're able to pull wins. There's some execution errors. Just clean up data. And then we have a uncategorized, so nothing got sent through. Let's see. So let's compare this with this one, for example, and let's see what's the difference. Okay, so this one is the same too in the old one. So it's always around 287 gets stuck here. I am curious why. I will probably dive into that later on, but as long as it does the exact same thing, I'm okay with that, honestly. So let's go ahead and see this new run and see what it's going to do. The most important thing is I'm actually going ahead and hand in something just right now, just to see if it works or not. So I'm able to at least be able to test it out. So I have this workflow, which is upgrade N8N instance, right? So it's actually in progress. So I want to do one thing today, which was migrate over Notion to Supabase workflow. So we've done that. So I'm going to show you how I normally hand it in. So I'm going to go ahead and do new awesome task. The area is inside my, let's call this one my, what was the area before? It's make work fun area. Perfect. So this is my make work fun area. And then I finished this today. And then I'm going to go ahead and say complete. It only took me one difficulty, right? So I'm going to go ahead and share a family. And then ideally, if it's all working, it should immediately switch over and pass it in. So new win, yay. So new win came, I just shared a win, it works. The EXP came out and my week's earning came up here already. So actually that's working pretty smooth, just as expected, right? So if I go ahead and see what's going on, there is an error here. I don't know why. Let's double check this. And then API token's invalid. So there is something that was trying to be sent here. Let's just take a look. Okay, so there's something here. It didn't update me though. It got sent in, but it didn't come back. Okay, so there is a little bit of an error. Thankfully, I caught it before we moved on. So the last one here is page ID is Notion ID. It's program created API key 2. So I need this. Oops. So this is the wrong program. So I need to go into here. And let's go ahead and add an expression. We're going to do this. And then here, we're going to call this the program created API key 2. So right here. Next time I might rename it to be something more succinct. So I know actually from the glance it's different. Let's just make sure everything changed. Yep. Perfect. Close. Close. Save. Okay, perfect. So let's go ahead and make sure, because it's going to keep sending this one in because it doesn't realize that it has already been saved. But again, because of this complicated flow, we made sure that it doesn't actually keep writing in new wins. It's going to check that, hey, this win's been here before, and we're just going to update the details instead of re-pushing it again and again. So the main thing is what I'm looking for is that here it says like shared with family. So that will probably happen after this run happens. And we're going to see that there's no more errors after that, thankfully. So give it a second there to do that. In the meantime, we're going to start moving on to the other workflow and migrating that. So the other workflow that we said we wanted to migrate was I wanted to migrate the, let's see, the API win to Supabase. That's what I wanted to migrate. What's going on here? Is it working? Okay, it's still running. So let's see what's going on after that. But yeah, so this one's done. We're gonna wait for that to go ahead and share with family. And then here, the wind came in, so that's good. And then the main thing is to make sure that I am testing everything else. Okay, so API wind is Supabase. I'm gonna let this run in the meantime because I'm pretty confident that that's good. I'm gonna make a new one again. And now I'm going to do this. So I'm just gonna copy this into it. So right here, I'm gonna paste this. Again, here the get player ID stuff. Let's see what's going on. So the credential here, I believe, is also programmatic. So nope, it's not programmatic. Interesting. Coax your family connection Supabase. So let's go ahead, Coax 3 family. Because I didn't rename it properly. Yeah, Coax 3 family connection Supabase. Okay, save that. And then this should also update automatically. Perfect. And this one as well. But basically this one, whenever I send a webhook to here, right, it would automatically check if the authentication key is perfect, right? Because we're not going to let it run if there is no authentication key, and then it's going to update the database. So this one, actually, I think there's nothing you can do to really test this perfectly. But I can try. So let's try ahead and see. Just need to make a post request to here and make a post request to this URL. So let's do it in the test environment, a test URL. Let's go ahead and copy that. And then I believe if I do a run there, I also need to make sure that I'm sending it in the right format. So give me a quick second. Let me just make sure. In the meantime, let's go ahead and go back and see, share with family, and then I will go ahead and see if there's an error. No, it's success, so everything's good. So for the Notion Win to Supabase, that one is running very, very well. That one's migrated properly. This one, I'll probably leave the testing to later because this one is actually still a work in progress, so I'm not too worried about this one. Let's go ahead and migrate one more, which is the one that is the weekly update Webflow event state, because I think that one's pretty important. This one is saves me a lot of time. So let's go ahead and turn this one off as well. And then I'm going to go ahead and go to my weekly update Webflow. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this. I'm going to go ahead and make a new one. So new workflow, paste this in. Again, this one is going to not do the thing properly. Let me explain what this one is first. So join.coaxer.com. So basically, whenever we're on the websites, we have these Friday live builds and Sunday council meetings, which happen on specific dates and times. And we want to make sure that people know when it's happening, right? And that it's not something people don't know when it's about to go. So the main thing is actually, this is also already a bit wrong because it's not that. So perfect, we can use this as opportunity to test this out. So what happens is this date should automatically change to the next week and the next week and the next week after that as time goes on, because it's hard for us to come in every single week and update it. We will forget. So we get an automation to do it for us because automations never forget. So the first thing is I want to go ahead and create a new access token here. So for this, I will again need to switch over to my face so I don't leak any information that I may not be able to recover. So let's go ahead and do that. So access token, paste that into there, and then credentials, put in there. Boom, save. And then close that, and then perfect. So then we're good. So coming back to here, everything's good. So let's see why this has a problem, right? So I believe it's because I did not, if occurred before now, that's fine. Add 7 days. Okay, I think the issue is that because I just straight up added 7 days and then it didn't add it didn't go ahead and update the time component to the proper component. I think that's what happened. So I think add 7 days it's good, but I still need to make sure that it's 7 p.m. or sorry, 9 p.m. Okay, so that's a good thing that I saw that. I might as well go and fix that now. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the details. So 1 second about that as well. And then we go to Webflow. Okay, and then let's go ahead and open up the designer here. And then switching back to here so you guys can see what I'm working on. Basically, I'm going to the Webflow UI now, and I'm just going to update the date just so that I don't forget later on. So I'm going to go into the backend here, the CMS, and then I'm going to go to events. And I see that there is this one that has a time issue. So this is not 8 a.m. It is actually 9 a.m. Eastern. So 9 a.m. Eastern, save that. And then here, oops, cancel. And then Friday live build, as you guys all know, it is in the 9 p.m. time. So 9 p.m. Eastern as well. So perfect. And then I actually want this to be published. So publish. And then we want this to publish. Oops, publish just like that. Okay, so let's go back here. Let's double check this. Ideally, this time will change. Yep, 9 and 9. So we're all good there. And then from now on, this will just add 7 days to it. So we're all good. I should probably figure out a way to update that to make sure it doesn't have the same problem again. So I'll make a note. This does not take into account daylight saving time, apparently. So I need to know that. I can now turn this one off. I can now turn this one on, and I can, got it. Perfect. So that's another workflow that we migrated over. Lovely. And now I have just a few more I wanted to do. This one is fine. This one's old information. This one's also old, but Google Assistant to Notion. Let's see what this one is. Ah, interesting. So basically this one is whenever Google Assistant does a post request here, then I'm able to add it to my inbox. I think that's actually quite useful. Again, it's not something that I'm currently using very, very often anyway. At least I didn't realize I was in this workflow. I thought it was with my automate. But I think that's cool. Let me go ahead and make a new one, and I'm going to call this one Google Assistant through Notion. I'm going to paste this one in. And then again, I will just probably save this for now because I'm not going to use this. I can turn this off as well. I will use this later on. Actually, I'm not sure. Is this even running? Let's see executions. I'm curious if it's currently being used. Yeah, it's not currently being used. That's fine. So then again, whenever we need to do it, I can just set it up. And I think actually the cool thing is probably I can do this and make this into a feature for the Make for Fun app. So I think that'd be quite nice. All right, cool. And then anything else to migrate? Google Assistant, we did that, we did that, we did this, we did that. Quest to do today, I don't think doesn't matter because we're not going to have that button anymore. Chili pepper to convert kit, I think that is okay. Well, let's migrate it over first, and then let's just make sure that we have it. So let's want to copy this, and then I'm going to make a new one. Oh, actually, I know it doesn't need it because I am definitely using, yeah, I'm definitely using my integral mat for this. Okay, I'm just gonna double check if integral mat has this later, and then we'll be fine. And I'll need to also double check what this form is actually. So let's see what this form is. Let's go ahead and go to chili pepper. Oh, I know what this is. Okay, I know what this is. Yeah, definitely, it's okay then. Okay, perfect. I think that's about it. I think that's what we've done migrating. I will just want to recap so everyone knows what the heck we just did and also why this is important. So we migrated actually 4 workflows to a new server. but 3 is fine just in case of this. And we saved the rest in case we need it, right? So we saved some over that we just press saved on, and we didn't really need it anymore. So I thought that was pretty interesting and pretty good, because that gives us the opportunity to go ahead and make sure that we have everything that we need. So the first thing to do whenever we migrate was we pause the workflow on the old server. We make sure the dependencies are passed over, credential keys, code changes, right? So for example, any webhooks that we need, for example, for this webhook here, this is going to be a new link. I'm going to have to go into IFTTT, change that link as well. And then if I ever do any new API wins, I will have to get people to update their post requests as well to us. So that's important. And then I run the workflow and test on a new server, and then that's pretty much it, right? It's quite simple actually, but if you follow a step-by-step process, it makes it a lot easier for you to know. And hopefully you guys learned a few new technologies along the way. Feel free to ask me any questions if you have any, and I'll be very happy to support you in your own creative journey. That's it from me for today. It's a nice short stream. I hope you guys have a wonderful start to your weekend. Please stay